everybody, thanks a lot for tuning in today. I gotta admit, I'm a little tired this morning. I stayed up till, gosh, was it 11? After 11? I don't know, watching that SIU football game. Our team was in the playoffs and they lost last night to South Dakota State. It was such a good game though. SIU dominated the first half and South Dakota State dominated the second half. So that's how that ended. But anyways, it was fun to watch. I wanted to talk about my favorites today and I thought I would apply them since that seems to be the way you guys like to get the information best. So I've already got my skincare on and I'm going to talk about the primer that I've been loving lately. It's this peach one, the Glass Skin Primer from Milani. First off, this smells amazing. I don't know if I went on about the smell enough at first, but it smells really good. Kind of sweet, but definitely with the peachy vibes. And then when I get it all blended in, just look at the next level of radiance that the skin has. And yeah, you best believe I need some extra radiance today. I just love that beautiful glow. It gives some added hydration and that pretty much benefits any foundation that I put on top. So I've really been enjoying that one. I've also had really good staying power lately, so maybe there's something to that as well. But this is a nice little line. I feel like if you're looking for it online, you need to see Milani's website, but I think it's being sold in Walgreens also. And by the way, some of the things in this video, you've seen me use them a lot in recent videos, and some of them are gonna kind of surprise you a little bit, I think. But next, a thing that I've been trying to get a lot of use out of is my Hollywood Flawless filter from Charlotte Tilbury. I've had this for a while. I wear it in the shade 2. And this is a product that could multitask and work in several ways in your routine. And to glance at it, you'd think that's foundation. No, it's actually, I would say, like a higher percentage of highlighter mixed with like this much foundation. So you get that foundation-y tone out of it, but a lot of glow. And you could use this on top of makeup to highlight. You could use it under makeup. And that's kind of the way I've been doing it lately. It's got this big doe foot applicator. And I know I've talked about possible dupes for this before with some of those different like visible lift products from L'Oreal. They're very, very similar to this in the level of glow and whatnot. So I'm going to take my Sephora 56 brush. I just kind of put this on first. You can see the high points of the face where I'm putting it, and watch how it gives a really pretty glow to these areas, and it kind of shines through under my foundation. See, isn't that just lovely? And it's really pretty on top too. And like I said, this isn't the only thing on the market that does this, and you don't really have to pay this price to get something similar. I'll definitely link to the video below where I outline dupes for this, but I just, you know, I have this and I want to get use out of it. Then for my foundations, I would say my current favorites, the Infallible Pro Glow. When I realized just how similar these are to the NARS Sheer Glow, it really kind of jump-started my love for these foundations. So I have Creamy Natural and Natural Beige. I feel like I'm mostly Creamy Natural right now with a smidge of Natural Beige. So we've got our skin completely ready to just glow today. I dropped it, no mess. But I thought it was gonna get like all over my new leggings. I'm just gonna add a little smidgen of the deeper shade 2. Really nice formula, very liquidy, as you'll see, but it gives the skin some glow without any artificial looking particles and flecks. It's just really smooth, medium coverage, okay? Can you guys believe how many different like serum foundation, like really lightweight kinds of things are coming out these days? Do we need like a roundup? Do we need an intense video with a graph and a chart and all that business? Let me know. So I'm going to bounce this in with my beauty blender and just look. Now we have completely prepped the skin to glow, but this on top as well is just money. I love it. I swear bouncing this stuff in with my beauty blender is like waking up my face this morning, so that's good. Anybody like not drink their coffee immediately? Just because it's too dang hot, you know, so you gotta let it sit just a bit. So I'm in that I haven't had any coffee yet phase of the morning. Y'all are the only people I've spoken to so far. I don't think I set out a concealer. See, all throughout the month I accumulate things in this little area. I just keep setting aside the things that are favorites. And we got a pretty good mix right now. I'll tell you a concealer that I'm kind of rediscovering is my Pat McGrath. I wear this in L6. It's the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Concealer. And it's also kind of cool that this is in a glass tube, you know. I don't think I have any other concealers that are in glass like that. But It's really good. I enjoy the coverage. It wears really nicely. It seems just a bit more sneaky than some of the other really full coverage concealers I have. Maybe you'll see what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain. Tap that in. The shade is super perfect because while it's brightening, it's just deep enough to still correct things really well on my skin. See that? This is helping out that little bit of redness around the nose, of course. I need a little brush action in there too. Love this little handy concealer brush, this 57 from Sephora. So, oh my, rain alert. Weather Channel app. Brief rain shower will begin at 5:32 for anybody who needed to know. Look at this. Like, is this skin pleasing? I think it is. But then, I got my little right-hand man here. Come in and really get around those certain zones, but that's beautiful. It meshes so well with the glowy look, this concealer. Lightweight, beautiful coverage. It really is among probably some of the best concealers I have. I don't hear a lot of people go on and on about this. I mean, Pat McGrath's eyeshadow palettes certainly get the bulk of the attention from her line, but this is an underrated gem that she's created. Although I didn't officially set it aside as a favorite this month because I just over the weekend realized how much I'm loving it. I pulled out a little powder to set with. This is just my Catrice HD Baking and Setting powder. No particular reason why, I just was going for a different powder. I rotate, keep it fresh. And with my e.l.f. small tapered brush, now we begin to kind of mattify some parts of this situation. Just for staying power's sake. It's like I still want the nice glowing skin, but I also want things to last all day, not transfer off onto children and stuff like that. Beautiful. See, I'm still seeing glow, but I'm matte where I want to be matte. And then guys, I've been doing way more cream bronzer these days. I've been using my Huda Tantour. My Tantour in Light is my favorite. I just love the tone, love the texture. It's next level light and blendable. I've definitely been experimenting with the Tarte one. That's the one in the little light turquoise compact. Very popular as well. And that works nicely. Ooh, I just gouged this thing with the little cap. Oopsie, pull some product off of there. But the Huda is really my favorite if I had to just pick one. I think the tone on this is so contour friendly, yet it does give my skin that realistic tan look too. And it's just so lightweight. I'm applying very little pressure. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. It's so creamy, but yet kind of light. Just a little more on this side. A little goes a long way if you pick up into it with a brush. You do not need to be getting much on your brush for it to be effective. But at the same time, it's you don't screw yourself if you do happen to get too much on your brush. You know what I mean? It just all ends up blending really, really nicely. Up around the forehead there, it's done in an instant. And if I want a little more, because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like my light here just washes me out a bit. I'm seeing myself in person and I'm definitely seeing the effects of what I did. But the brightness of my lights always make me wonder, did everybody else pick up on that too? That's why, honestly, sometimes you'll see me glancing off in this direction because I'm looking at the little flip screen monitor, being my own camera gal, and just making sure everything's in focus and that you can see everything I did. So yeah, Huda Tantour. It's the bomb. I still feel like it's undupable, even though I kind of tried to pull something in from Physicians Formula in that video, and for looks purposes it may have worked, but this is where it's at. For blush, I've got a couple of different faves. One is the Bare Minerals Blonzer in the Kiss of Rose shade. I really like this because every time I pick it up and I think of Kiss of Rose, I actually think Kiss from a Rose, and then I think ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's so beautiful. It's kind of like a really pretty, deepish, dusty rose with shimmer, beautiful sheen. It's so summery, it's so rich. I did a review video where I had this on, so I'm probably gonna put my focus on the other one that's my favorite in this video. This is something that I got in a little like Walgreens order not too long ago, and I noticed this was available. I thought, I don't think I've ever seen those before. The Visible Lift Radiance Cheek Duos. This is in Blushing in Bronze. And by the way, the Visible Lift line as a whole from L'Oreal is full of quality. Like, they've got a great foundation in that line. There's those kind of glowy primer type things that I would compare to the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. And now they got this beautiful blush here that really doesn't make me think bronze so much as maybe, I don't know, a little bit of mauve or dusty rose. I swear, the amount of times I say dusty rose. But it also has a beautiful little highlight tucked in there too. So here's the blush shade. And the fact that they call this Blushing in Bronze makes me think that it's just probably the most muted of this collection. Like, I'm guessing if I scanned them all in person, like, this was the one that would look the most kind of neutral-ish. And maybe that's why they sort of dubbed it as Blushing in Bronze, but it's just my guess. Okay, so beautiful blush, right? We love that as is. And then look at this highlight that's up here. Very pearly and light, okay? I'm gonna use my Real Techniques setting brush. And look how pretty this is. Like the little 2-in-1. Who knew about these? I swear I haven't heard a soul talk about them. They're so lovely. And this just really plays off of, you know, all the brightening work you've done, maybe concealer-wise, to keep this area nice and light. And then you put this on, it's like, wow. Bringing back the glow. First we put on the glow, then we slightly take away the glow, then we put the glow back. We're crazy, aren't we? By we, I mean me. Getting a little forehead glow action. And it's just, this is such a manageable highlight. Like, it's really not over the top. The texture is absolutely beautiful. And I'm gonna put a little on the Cupid's bow too. First I put a lot, and then I kind of dust away. Boom. Loving that. It's probably no surprise what my favorite setting spray has been, because I've used it nonstop since finding it, and it's my Blueberry Replenishing Facial Mist from Milani. Again, that fruit line, but this just smells so good, and I gotta say they did great with the other ones too, the cherry. There's also a really beautiful smelling peach one, but this is just like the most unique. It really takes you aback when you smell it. Love that. Oh, fun story. I was kind of like going through some things in my closet yesterday, including an old purse, and in that purse was one of those small Evian mists, like face mists. And of course, you know, when I do things like this, assuming it's not nap time, I've got company, so Bubba's in there with me, and he's like shaking it. He knows there's some kind of liquid in it, so I go ahead and spray it and give him a face mist, and he just loves it. Like, couldn't get enough of it, wanted more and more. Like, he even had a little pocket in his shorts, and I was tucking it like in his pocket, and then he'd walk around, and then like 5 seconds later take it out again, pull the top off, and then present it to me so I can mist him. Big time brow favorite this past month, no question, has been this micro filling pen from Benefit, and it's in the medium brown shade. So odds are you've seen me use this already and talk about it, how it's like cut like a little 3-pronged fork but at an angle. And this is really just the best of the best when it comes to an inky brow fill-in tool. Like, I just love the way this fills in. I feel like I have tons of control, and I'm not scared of screwing up and getting too much put on. And I do feel that way about a lot of other products of this kind. And I feel like for somebody with less brow than me and you're wanting those hair-like strokes, I think this would be awesome. But even for me, who's got a lot of brow there, I can put this on freely and not be worried about it being too much. Like, in fact, it just seems perfect to me. And I can really get in here too, get right into that inner part, and it's just so quick. And part of why it's so quick is because I'm not having to be too careful. We love a product that can let us be just a little careless with application at times, right? That's kind of like the Huda Tantour. Maybe I need a whole video of products you could be careless with. You know, like products that won't turn around and bite you if you just, you know, don't apply it just right, or you don't blend it just perfectly, or you don't apply just the perfect amount of pressure. I get the whole thing filled in, and then I take my little fork mode here and I sort of fluff up that. Crazy, but it works. And then I just feel like the tone is perfect, the intensity ends up perfect. Love that. Then I'll just take whatever gel, you know, whatever's handy. I feel like I've about used up this Browsessive brown tinted gel from Wet n Wild, because you do need hold after that. That's the thing. The inky pen does not give hold. Brows, check. Next we're going to use the Milani eyeshadow primer, which is always a fave. And I actually do have a favorite eyeshadow palette this month. And a lot of times I feel really funny naming an eyeshadow favorite because I just am bouncing around. Sorry, I got itchy nose. I have so many different things that I'm trying all the time, and I really do try to use different things, experiment, use what I have. And so it's probably a good thing that I don't like just lay into one palette and one palette only for a period of time. But this past month, I would say there's been something that I've used more than others, and I've definitely just been so drawn to it, so enjoying it, really coming away from every single look that I do and thinking, yeah, I love that. And it is my Too Faced Teddy Bear palette. Love this. I have a full review and tutorial with it, so hopefully you'll check that out if you're intrigued and you want some more info. But I'm loving this Dusty Rose vibe that's in here. Everything is top-notch quality. Yes, it is a little bit smaller size palette for Too Faced, but it doesn't bother me one bit. In fact, I like it, and it's still very, you know, solid construction and packaging, but I love these deeper rosy tones. We got some like deep dark plumminess that it's going back into. Beautiful neutrals. The shimmers are not hard to work with. They lay down just perfectly with a brush, and out of this whole mix there's only 4 of them. So this one, this one, this one, and this one. 2 of them are kind of speckled, 2 of them are a nice smooth metallic, and yeah, I absolutely love it. Cute packaging, got the mirror on the inside. Oh, another thing that just like popped into my head that I meant to mention, highlight wise, because I used the highlight that was in that little Visible Lift blush, but also let's not forget Catrice Sungasm. Absolutely beautiful and perfect highlight. Like, such a great dupe for the Natasha Denona. The highlighter of hers in the shade Fair, like this dupes that completely. Also loving the Undone Beauty Nonzer, which is just strips of different tones of highlight, and you can use them separately or all together, but it's literally like every kind of tone of highlight one might want. And this shade is so pretty down here, this kind of like icy purpley pinky tone. It doesn't show up unwearable on the skin at all. It's actually beautiful. So yeah, I had some overflow highlight faves. But I'm going to throw together a little look this morning with this palette. I think instead of going straight to the crease, I'm going to go straight to my dark shade and just pat that on the outside just for a little change of pace. So we go over here to this. Yes, they do have shade names. They're written on the back of the palette though, so that's kind of like a no man's land to me. I don't really check there. If you want me to know the shade names, you put them right under the product. So can you see what I'm doing here? I'm just patting it on the outer corner, and then I'm also getting it up into the crease. And this is just our darkest shade in the palette. And it's gonna look kind of rough and unblended here for a minute. And then we'll go in and soften it up, and it really lets your dark shade just look so pure on the eye because it's not having to overlap and compete with anything here at first. And this was one of those techniques that I think when I was using tips from my viewers that were submitted, this was just one of those that really stuck, and every now and then I use it and I think about it all the time. Yeah, it's a really good way to do things. So you're patting it on the outer part of your lid, flipping the brush, getting it into the crease, and it should look something like this. Then take your crease brush without adding anything to it at first, and watch what happens. This starts to look kind of like it could be a perfect eye look in itself. It's kind of crazy. But you just start softening and blending that shade all throughout the crease. Soften the edge and blend into the crease deeper here, more inward. See how pretty is this? And then you get to enjoy how that dark shade shears out, and you can see a little more like color coming from it. Okay, great. And then I think up above that shade, let's go with a little pink because I'm very pinky today with my little sweater. So we're taking that beautiful bubblegummy pink, same E25 brush that I used for the blending. Get that all over that crease zone. Embracing the rosiness that this palette can offer. How pretty. Now I think I'm going to downsize to my E27, just a smaller size E25. And I'm going to come to this shade here, the one just under that pink that I just used. I'm going to kind of use that to also blend my crease out a little bit because I love layering mattes. And this shade is kind of like in between the plum and the lighter pink depth-wise, and it just kind of makes everything look a little smoother right now. When you're jumping in between two shades, you can always make them merge better if you look for something in your palette or in your collection that falls in between depth-wise. It makes everything smooth out even easier. I think I will go ahead and apply a little bit of a highlight here. We've got a little more peach tone, a little more creamy. By the way, this palette could be used as a blush palette too. There are definitely things in here that I think might make really pretty blushes. I'm looking mainly at these three right here. Yep. And maybe like a little under eye setting powder with that. Then we're like, okay, let's add some shimmer. Let's add a little pop. I'm gonna keep it pinky today, so I'm gonna stick with this one right down here. And this is so beautiful, just packed on with a flat brush. I mean, look at this pretty glow. So beautiful there on the lid. I just can't get over how good the shimmers are in this palette. And I like that you can take them in the pinky route. There's one that's a little more berry, and then there's a couple of gold options too. Super pretty. And I think I want to go down beneath the eye just with a little bit of, let's do the plum. This is my little small pointed brush from Profusion. So very lightly, in a very diffused way, taking that down under the eye. And suddenly, I'm looking at the color of my eyes and it's looking more green to me. I'm not sure if that translates on camera, but I can totally tell whenever I use these kinds of tones, it brings out the green in my eye. I'm going to do my usual inner rim brightening. This is with my ABH double-ended pencil here. And then I'm going to hit you with a new thing that I've realized is such a good formula in a pencil. A couple different pencil-y things here, actually. One, this Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Color Pencil in the shade 4 Sand. I'm just getting into this, the amazingness of this formula. They have jumbo sticks and they have eyeliners. And guys, these eyeliners I think officially go on easier than any pencil eyeliner ever. And this sand shade, look how you just, the amount of control, something about using a skinny pencil like this. Like, I still love the ABH, the glowy side of that double-ended pencil, but look at how you just, I mean, it's crazy. And the other day I was lining my eyes with one of my deeper colors of these pencils, and I was just like, wow, I'm barely touching the skin, and it was transferring onto it so beautifully. But this light shade is like Insta Radiance, right exactly where you want it, and it's just a little bit more profound shimmer than the ABH double-ended pencil has. That has a nice soft pearliness, and I still use that from time to time, like in this zone. But look how easy and amazing that is when you use this little pencil guy. And it's just like super soft, super creamy. I just feel like I'm coming into an amazing formula here, and I can't wait to learn more about some of the other things I have. And speaking of another great thing that glides on the skin like butter, but it's coming from a stick, it's the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick in the shade Cocoa. And I would call this my lazy liner. When I'm not feeling like doing a liquid and I'm not wanting to struggle with a pencil, I mean, I'm really like, I have no tolerance for anything that pulls across the eye anymore. Like if it's tugging the least bit, if it's skipping and being hard to apply, I'm not interested. But here's the way I like to use this. So it's a jumbo stick. It's a dark shimmery brown, real dark. And I feel like all I want to do with it is put it on like the outer part right in here. And then look at how pretty it is. And then I'll just take my finger and gently blend right there where it ends, about midway onto the eye. And I just feel like it's so pretty. And it's the easiest, I swear, the absolute easiest liner ever. So I put it on, and suddenly now the look has a little softened liner, which soft liner is something I really do struggle with. Like, it's hard sometimes to just get things really blended and softened out how you want it when you've already got your full eye look on and you don't want to screw everything else up. So you don't end up doing a lot of buffing and blending around, but here you just get that instantaneous, because it's thick and it just glides on so smoothly. You just get a quick little depth there at the lash line. Don't you love that? I love that so much. Okay, next up, I'm going to curl my lashes. I did not pull out an in particular favorite mascara, so I'm just going to use whatever. It's going to be Superhero, actually. My ultimate favorite. I think I may have gotten a little reckless there and got some on my eyelid. Alrighty, who's ready for the icing on the cake of this look? Pulling out my lip favorites here. I've got two actually MAC lipstick favorites. One of them is the matte lipstick in the shade called Chili. And this I love, and I'm really loving it this time of year. If you're into any kind of a warm eye, you might think about how this shade mixes in. It's like a toasty red, okay? It's gonna be a little different vibe from your fire engine cherry reds. It's a little softer than that, and I think it's so, so pretty. There's a little warmth in it, so if you do try to stay away from a warmish red, you might watch out for this one. It might not be your favorite, but if you're kind of wanting like a little different take, a little different like swing at red, this one I love because it's like got that little bit of smokiness, a little bit of neutral thrown into a classic red, and it looks just so, so pretty on. So that's not really my vibe with this look today, but I wanted to mention it. And then my other favorite is the satin lipstick in the shade Twig. So this one, you know, I've talked about how I found out this was a shade that Joey on Dawson's Creek would wear. So of course we gotta respect that. But also it's just such a pretty shade in general. It's such a classic. It's kind of like, how would I describe this? Maybe like if Dusty Rose and Berry had a baby. This is that. So pretty and so creamy on the lips. I really like the texture, and I do love the scent of a MAC lipstick, that light vanilla scent. And then here's something else I've been doing. I got this lip balm from Essence Fruit Kiss Caring Lip Balm. It says with 10% almond oil, and there's this shade called Raspberry Dream. It's like this light shimmery lip balm, okay? So it's got a little bit of sheen. And what I'll do is I'll take, over almost anything I'm wearing, I'll put a little bit of this on and mainly kind of focus it here on the lower lip. I feel like it gives me just a little extra shine and maybe just a hint of shimmer. But it just adds to the comfort of maybe just a matte lipstick that I might put on. And then I wipe off because I know I just mixed two things, so I wipe off the residue so it's nice and fresh. But yeah, did that pull the look together or what? I'm loving the springtime vibe, the glowy skin. The skin is kind of nicely bronzed up with that Huda Tantour as well. I absolutely love that highlight blush combo with the L'Oreal Visible Lift. Base products, of course, are working together wonderfully well. And remember, we've got that added glow in this look from the primer we used and the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. You know, that was part of this, and I think that's kind of contributing to an overall glow that we achieved as well. And then that beautiful Too Faced teddy bear palette on the eyes. Love that. And sort of in the like things to come from me category, I feel like I'm going to be experimenting a lot more with pencils because I love this little trick from the jumbo stick, and I feel like I could be doing this with so many different jumbo sticks that I currently have that are in deeper tones that maybe, you know, I'm not going to be as likely to just throw across the lid for a quick look like all over, but use them as that smudgy, easy liner, just like outer half style, and it looks so effortless and nice. So thank you guys for your time. I really enjoyed doing this video, even though I was kind of tired. The makeup definitely re-energized me. So have a great day. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Bye.